So this is a flip through of my newest junk journal I finished. It's a kitchen or a recipe journal. It'd be really good for somebody who's all about cooking or is a foodie, kind of like me. That's part of the appeal. I think my favorite part is probably the closure on it, which is I have this spoon and my bow has slipped, but I glued this spoon. I've had this spoon for like 10 years. I got 2 of them at a yard sale once. And they're a little rusted and a little beat up, but they were perfect for this. The book itself, I didn't do much to the cover because I really liked the cover illustrations. That's the front and the back. I really like the back better actually, but sadly it's, you know, the back. I couldn't do a whole lot about that. Because the spine was just right. I did a different kind of binding than normal. Actually this one was a little easier. I was going to do another cross stitch binding, but I decided to try this one and I like this one. And I just covered the spine. I didn't want the title to show, so I covered the spine with some canvas and some washi tape that's actually a fabric washi tape, and then aged it a little. And then I am doing, so you open it up and it's got, again, I did not change much on the inside cover because there was all of this stuff about food and all of the old like iron and what it's used for, fats, what it's, you know, what it's good about for. And the person who owned the book at one point had written in here and has notes to herself, so I didn't want to cover any of that up. The first page, this is actually, it's a journal card, it's blank on the back, but this is one of the books I got rid of in the library I work at because it was falling apart and I couldn't repair it anymore. It was Rutabaga Stories by Carl Sandburg, and I just liked, since it's a food book, rutabagas are food, so I just took everything out of the back, the pocket out of the back and the card, and put it in this one. And I've had this, there was a stack of like kitchen themed paper, and I used a lot of that in here because it really went well and it's very retro looking. As always, this journal has a lot of space to write because I figure it is called a journal. You need a lot of space. I've just done a strip of scrap paper down here on the edge with some sewing, a lace doily tuck spot with a tasting scorecard for wine that I've aged, a notes card. I actually found these copper colored paper clips at the dollar store, which I was super excited about, and I need to go back and get more before they run out. And I've just put some strips of muslin on here. Done some more sewing. There's not a ton of sewing in this one, but I did do some. This is actually a photocopy. I have all of my grandmother's, great-grandmother, some of them are 100+ years old. I have all of the old recipes. So this is a letter that was typewritten to my grandmother from a friend from her sorority that has a recipe for wacky cake in it. So I just photocopied the recipe and then cut it out and put some, sprayed some ink on the back. Little tab on here, some parchment paper. This belly band has a Saint Germain, which is elderflower liqueur. I've had, I don't know, this came in a magazine, I think it was an ad, but I colored it with colored pencils because it was a black and white ad. And I've been hanging on to it forever, and this seemed like a good place to use it. The tomatoes were just fun. I got a new border punch, so I've decorated some of the pages with the border punch. An old root beer label. I live in Williamsburg, so one of my weaknesses is the root beer that the taverns have in Colonial Williamsburg, so that's a label off of one of the Colonial Williamsburg root beer bottles. Some lace sewn on. I'm trying not to make this video terribly long. I've done some more of the fabric washi tape in here. This is an old library card that we used to use for magazines. These are actually out of a fondue cookbook from the 70s, but it had some really good illustrations. So I've made a pocket out of one of the pages with this, and it's got a shopping list in it. And then this tag here says sweet treats. Parchment. And the parchment paper, you could easily write on it. You could clip something to it. I'm all about, I like the texture and the way it sounds when you turn the page. This is a paprika bag from, I don't remember where I got this. I went to Hungary many years ago, and it was this brand of paprika, and I found somewhere that I can buy it because it's really good. But it comes in these bags, so I save the bags when I buy them because I figured they could always go in something. And a junk journal like this is perfect. It actually got stained because the I didn't know there was paprika in the bottom of the bag, and it got wet. So it kind of looks like it came out of somebody's kitchen, because it did, you know. I sewed up, there was a tear here, and I just sewed it up. Because if your recipe books look anything like mine, there's always places where I have spilled stuff, put my cup down on it, torn it. This is actually a little pocket folder you could put something inside. I do not have anything in here currently. But it's a pocket made out of tea bags, actually. I'm a tea fiend. I drink far too much iced tea. But I took the tea bags, I save the tea bags now and take them apart, rinse them off, and then iron them flat and make parts for the journal that you can print on them too. The next journal I'm going to do has some printing on some. This has a Get Cooking stapled to it, as a list or notes. We have a pocket folder here with Red Rooster Seed Company card, journal card. I have a tuck spot / pocket in the side over here with a guest ticket check in it. These I got in a pack from somewhere, but they are photo. You could put photos in it, you could put notes, whatever you wanted. I put them in here intending for photos, but they could be anything. Some ledger paper. Fresh Berries tuck spot in here with Farmer's Market journal card and another of the library cards. And I really like this paper. This one folds out. You could write in it, you could put something, attach it in there. Journal card that I've sewn around and some lace on this paper clip. This is another one of the fondue pages. It's from the table of contents with another journal card in there. Probably need to trim some of these off. This one folds out and has another fabric washi tape here and some wood washi tape on the other side, but it folds out so you could do a list here. This was also a photocopy from some of my grandmother's things for a very odd punch recipe. It's almost tempting to make it just to see if it actually tastes good, because I'm not really sure that I trust that it does. It's got all kinds of, it's got cranberry juice, iced tea, apricot nectar, pineapple juice, OJ, lemon Kool-Aid. It's got a lot of things in it. And this time I have a burlap pocket with another recipe card, a blank one. There's nothing in this one, but I did leave a pocket here. Another file folder and another blank recipe card. This one's just a sewn journal card, and it's another of the fondue recipes. Table of contents, because there was like 4 pages of table of contents. This is a recipe card for my grandmother's things for butterscotch squares. I'm debating whether or not I should put these up as a downloadable, a printable on the Shop My Recipe cards I've done. There's a couple more. So if you'd like to see that, let me know. Another wine tasting journal card, which you could use as a wine tasting card and journal on the back. I mean, this actually, my grandmother had several envelopes that had been written on, so this one they had been written on and then flattened out. So this is the outside of one of the envelopes because I couldn't get it. The inside was messed up, so I just did the outside for lemon coconut bars. And then it also doubles as an envelope that you could put other things in. Some more washi tape. Another shopping list that's stapled in. This pocket, which I really enjoy. And the pocket has a recipe card for, I'm not even sure, Wheeler cookies? Wheeler cookies. I think these two recipes are actually great grandma's. I don't know. They're like 100 years old. I have a lot of recipes that are very old. And then there's this old, I wanted to put this in the book really badly, but it was so thin, I couldn't make it work as a page. I just didn't think it would work very well. But I wanted to include it because it seems like something, my grandmother always carries one tucked underneath her wrist in her sleeves. It just seemed to go with the theme since it was a retro kitchen journal. So I've got this very pretty vintage handkerchief in here. And then this also has a pocket behind it that you could put a recipe card in. There is one. Another guest check. Trying not to make this terribly long. And then on the last page I've got, I just thought this one was fun. It's another kitchen themed one, but another folder for that. And the other half of the background cover. So yeah, that is the kitchen journal. It is available in my Etsy store right now. If you're interested, the link is in, it's in the description box. And that's it. So I'm really pleased with how this one came out. I wasn't really sure quite if I would like it when it came out, but I actually really like this one. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please give it a like and subscribe. I have several more journals I'm working on since, you know, it's summertime and I've had some time. I have lots of things in progress, so hopefully I will have all of them up shortly. So thank you for watching. Bye.